everybody, today I'm going to be going over body rolls. So if you ever come to any of our Sensual Bachata classes or Kizomba, you know that having good isolations and body rolls is really important. So this was a special request and I'm going to go over it. Where to start? So body rolls are really about being able to isolate different parts of your body and move them. Or starting at the chest and then we're moving down, or starting at the hips and moving back up. So usually the first thing I tell people to do is really just make sure you can isolate different parts of your body. So you can practice with just working on your rib cage. So you keep everything planted and you work on just moving your rib cage. So you move your rib to the side, to the center, to the side, and the center. You can work on that, practice that at different speeds, just really making sure that it's only your rib cage that's moving here. I'm not moving my whole body over to one side. I'm trying to keep shoulders, hips, legs in the same place and just move the ribs side to side. You also want to do that front and back. So if you can see it at this angle, you're going to poke it forward, come back to the middle, and bring it in. So it's like there's a little balloon right here in your rib cage, and it gets filled up with air, and then the air gets squished out of it. It's a little over dramatic for you to see, but you really want to make sure you've got that isolation forward and back there. You can also work on doing a box, so you can go forward, side, back, around, and work on doing a roll with just your rib cage. Same thing with the hips. You want to be able to move your hips independently of the rest of your body. So you'll work on bringing one hip up, like it's like there's a string attached to it, it's coming up to your armpit, so you're pulling it up, coming back to the center, pulling it up, coming back to the center. So do that a couple times, side to side. You also want to do forward and back, so it's like you're thrusting your hips forward, coming back to center, and then poking them out. This is all coming from the hips, so it's just your pelvis that's tilting here. This is a lot of core work, so you really want to make sure that you're contracting and releasing. So you breathe at that. So you want to make sure you got all those isolations down before you start working on body rolls, because you need to have those to be able to do a body roll. So body roll, I'll go to this angle so you can see. We're moving the whole body as in one motion. But you want to practice it in a couple of different segments. So remember that chest isolation we did earlier, the rib cage isolation. We're going to start with that. So you want to just be able to poke your ribs out. So it's just the rib cage poking out and forward. So that's the first part of that, of doing a body roll. So something's coming forward, and then I think about it, it's like you swallowed a noodle, so you bring it in, and then you come through the middle, come to neutral, and then you're going to tuck the pelvis and then bring it out. So we start with the ribs, rib cage, pull it into neutral, tuck the pelvis, you can bend the knees a little if you want to, and then bring it back out. So a little faster, we've got rib cage, neutral, tuck, release. Rib cage, neutral, tuck, release. Rib cage, neutral, tuck, release. So you're going to try that a couple times on your own. You can work on speeding it up, doing it a little faster, body roll, body roll. You don't have to bend your knees at the end. I like to do that just to practice because it really makes sure that I settle the movement there, but you can do it just standing up here. I feel kind of silly doing body rolls by myself, but it's how you practice. And then to reverse it, it's going to be the same idea. You just reverse the movement. So you're going to tuck. So if we started off here, so we did a body roll down, and then our butt's kind of out a little bit, you want to tuck here, bring it through the middle, and then it's like, bleh, it's like you threw up. So you bring it in and gag. So that one slowly again. So if we started down at the bottom, we're going to tuck, bring it through neutral, and then stick the chest back out. If I start low, tuck, neutral, chest, out. If I do them both in sequence, I go in, up, down, back, tuck, and bring it forward. These take a lot of time to practice and to perfect, so I would definitely recommend doing this on your own. You can practice against a wall, so you can get up against a wall and you can practice really working on getting each part of your body to sit in there and then sit it back. I don't know if you can see it from here, but what I'll do is I'm going to come against the wall and I'm going to start chest, and then it's like peeling my body down it, and then I'm going to bring my hips to it and pull it back up. So the wall just really lets you know where you are and helps you to practice getting those movements. Again, it takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of control, it takes a lot of core strength, so work on your core, and as you do this, really be aware of what your core is doing, because that's really where most of our movement is going to come from. Flexibility doesn't hurt either, so it can help if you keep your chest stretched out. So you can do simple exercise like this where you can just hold on to one hand behind the back or clasp your hands and roll it down just to open up the chest here. Making sure you're nice and loose in your sides is good. So a stretch I like to do is to round down and then stretch off to one side and then stretch off to the other side. That feels really good. And then stretching out your hips so that you can move them. Because if your hips are really tight, it's pretty hard to move them. So just practice this. Let me know how it goes. Love to see your videos. Send them my way.